Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today I'm going to be reviewing Married at First Sight. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. If you like my hairstyle, I have already done a tutorial on it. The link will be down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all, so the honeymoon is over. Literally and figuratively. The couples have come back from Panama and they are gathering things from their own place to move into the new apartment. I believe all of the apartments are in the same building or the same complex, something like that. Same thing as last season. Very neutral. All the apartments are pretty much basic. It's nothing to really, it's for you to decorate and make your own. So I ain't mad at it. So let's start with Jess and Austin because they seem to be doing the best. So far, they haven't really had too many issues at all. So when they were like kind of like going back and forth over who should get the bigger closet, Jess was like, yeah, this is mine. And I'm just like, yeah, you better let Jess have that closet since she's gonna be doing all the cooking and cleaning. Because even on the very first night, he left his pajamas on the ground and she folded them up and put them up for her. And I was like, if this is not a sign of things to come, if this is not foreshadowing, like I already knew she was gonna be cleaning up, but on the first night, Austin, on the first night, like when they went to Austin's house, she was literally inspecting the entire place and it just didn't seem like it was up to her standards. He didn't even know how often you should wash your comforter and he claimed to do it every month, but I doubt it. It's probably not even, he probably didn't even wash it, for all we know. How do I know you washing your comforter? You don't even know how often you wash it. They picked up a couple of things from his apartment, but she basically took everything out of her apartment. I mean, every single pair of jeans, every toothbrush, every cup, every watermelon. I mean, he was like, we don't need the watermelon. We taking the watermelon. Like, come on. We already know she gonna be the one making the rules in this relationship, and that's just how it goes sometimes. I don't think it makes it any better that she makes more money than him because she already seems like she's gonna want to be the boss. She's okay with making significantly more than him because he has a chance to make more in the future. So when they talk about kids, they say they want possibly 2 or 3 and possibly 2 or 3 years. When they met with Pastor Cal, it just seemed like Jess was leading that whole entire conversation. I was just like, okay girl, let's move on to Zach and Mindy because there's not much to say here. Like I took notes on Zach and Mindy, but the problem is Zach is superficial and shallow. He doesn't want to look like he's superficial and shallow, so he's placing everything on chemistry. But Dr. Cal said it perfectly. He had a preconceived notion of what he wanted and she's not it. And he cannot look beyond the superficial. Like, period. That's all this is. Like, we're dancing around it, we're playing with it, we're toying with it. I mean, even Dr. Cal said he doesn't know if he's telling the truth, if he's being honest. I personally feel like he just wants to be on TV because after this whole long spiel about how he's not attracted to Mindy, this trip around the world where he just constantly goes around in circles and circles and circles around the mountain, he says he wants to stay with her. And it's like, you don't even want to live with her. Basically, he's trying to get away with staying on his show without treating Mindy like a wife. Are the experts not allowed to put their foot down? Like, I know they said they weren't allowed to make choices for them, but I feel like there should be a line drawn. And like he said, you knew that after the honeymoon, you knew what the itinerary was. After the honeymoon, y'all move in together. I feel like there should be a line drawn, like if you do not move in, then we cannot continue on with this process or we will not continue filming you. Because I feel like he's really taking advantage of this process. He's taking advantage of Mindy. I want him to leave her alone. And I also want Mindy to leave. Mindy, know your worth. Why are you trying to stick around with someone unless you want to be on TV too, unless you want the money too? Why would you stick around with someone who's constantly disrespecting you, doesn't even want to stay with you? I mean, her friend found it ridiculous that he's not living there. Are you crazy? Her friend said she thinks he's full of it and should appreciate who she is. And Mindy said he deserves a chance, but he feels like it's unhealthy for them to live together. Zach and Mindy, this is a disaster, and I just feel like I'm at the point where I might just start fast forwarding through their scenes, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know if I could play along with this any further, because it's so clear that Zach wants to be this season's Luke or Matt. Like, you want to be that so bad. So bad. I mean, but in a nice way. There's no nice way of being a jerk, Zach. There's no nice way. There's no cute way. There's no, ooh, I still think he fine way of being a jerk. So let's move on. All right, let's move on to Brandon and Taylor. So we saw in the last episode, Brandon cursed everybody out on that bus. Apparently, I didn't realize until Taylor laid it out there that Pastor Cal, but he cursed everybody out on the bus, including her, telling everybody F you, and he didn't want to sit next to her. It was just volatile all the way around. And then once they landed, he took off, right? And I just feel like, you know, after this whole Zach situation and this situation with Brandon, if y'all not coming straight to the apartment and y'all not even gonna stay the night, the first night in the apartment, they should be automatically eliminated. And I know this is not an eliminated show. This is not Survivor. This is not this is not Flavor of Love. People should be getting eliminated for not participating, because why is it fair for one person to show up and stay the night alone in their apartment with their husband? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, and I feel like they should have immediately gotten eliminated. And by the way, follow me on Twitter, lavita_rosa. I actually tweeted that, and somebody retweeted me and said, and the women should get the money that the men were supposed to get if they get eliminated. I agree. Like, y'all want to play these games? Let's play them. Let's play them. They deserve to get all the money. All the money that the men were supposed to get, because you're so ready to quit. You know what I'm saying? And then these women sticking around. While Pastor Cal is talking to Taylor about what happened on the honeymoon, and she's explaining to him the severity of what happened, he's like looking very shocked, like, what? Brandon walks in very casually, very nonchalantly with some cheap flowers, and it's like, okay, Brandon, which personality did you bring with you today? Because, I mean, he was even laughing and smiling. So, what? There's no way you could. I felt the same way last season with Matt, when he stayed out all night ignoring Amber and her phone calls and not letting her know where he was. And then he just walks in nonchalant. What's up? No, you need to come in with your head hanging low, very apologetic. Definitely you need to have some sort of, you know, solemn look on your face. He was just, what's up? What? And so, I mean, that threw everybody in the room off, including the audience, because, like, you just got done cursing everybody out. So what was it, Brandon? What are you fine now? What's going on? Pastor Cal wanted to talk to him by himself, and when he got him alone, he was basically like, everyone is going through this experience just like you. They have to deal with production just like you. They have to deal with filming just like you. So why is it that you reacted the way that you did? So his explanation basically was that he's not used to being vulnerable. And the thing about Brandon that really gets to me is that he's very self-aware. He knows that he's a private person. He knows that he doesn't like to be vulnerable. He knows he likes his space. You know all of this. You're so self-aware, but then you still flip out like this, and it makes me feel like you're just a spoiled brat who will flip when you don't get your way. Because I've never seen somebody be so self-aware and still have these terrible temper tantrums. Like, usually people like that will be in denial, but no, he knows exactly what's wrong with him and still flips the way he does. So that's why I feel like his behavior is unexcusable. And also, when he was explaining everything, it's sort of like he was blaming it on everyone else. Well, I just wanted a break. Well, Taylor said this and that made me do this. It's like, okay, you need to take full responsibility for your wild actions, because no one should have been able to push you to the point where you're cursing everybody out. And the people in the bus didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. The cast and crew just doing their job. Your wife just trying to calm you down because you're looking a fool on TV. everybody had their heart in the right place. It was you that was snapping on them like an idiot. He apologized twice, but I felt like the apology wasn't necessarily genuine. I mean, it was still very nonchalant, very generic apology. Basically, Pastor Cal made them say some little tailored vows to each other. And he said, you can't forget the past, but good behavior can distance the bad behavior. We'll see, Pastor Cal. I don't know about that. This advice just be making, I don't know, it's just like the advice, some of this advice you could tell is just so that they can keep the show going and not necessarily, you know, the advice that people need. And the last thing I put on my notes was, how can she truly move forward with this man knowing that anything could set him off? Like, she's like how can I live with someone and I'm constantly trying to avoid stepping on these time bombs? Like, I feel for Taylor, because I do feel like Taylor actually really wants to be with him, but I feel like he's just way too unstable. Let's move on to Katie and Derek, who have been in a pretty much excellent place throughout the honeymoon. And so we're hitting reality now. So I'm just going to move on to their conversation with Pastor Cal, because everything else was like very blah, 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 superficial. Nothing really was going on with their apartments or moving in. So, Pastor Cal asked them, do they want kids? And she said, possibly in 3 years if she doesn't accidentally get pregnant before then. I'm just like, Derek, watch out. Make sure you protect yourself, because that sounded more like a threat. She seemed like she wants kids really bad. So as they went more into their conversation, Derek was saying how he felt more like their relationship was very surface level and they felt like roommates. He said it's gonna take at least 6 months to a year for him to feel love for her. And I'm like, how do you even know that when you've never been in love? You've never loved anybody. You said it yourself, you never loved anybody. And Pastor Cal asked him like, well, do you know for sure? And he's just like, I don't know until I do. And honestly, I've been there before. I totally understand that line of thinking. But when you actually fall for somebody, when you actually like fall in love or you love somebody, love defies logic, especially when you love somebody that don't really love you back. It's just, it defies logic. Love does not follow your rules. Like, the reason why, I mean, I'm looking at him crazy, but I also, it's relatable because I've been there before I, quote unquote, fell in love. And then when you do, it's just like, you didn't even realize you did until you're there. And you're just like, oh, wow, I've had these feelings. But even though he said those things and it sounded kind of crazy, it might be valid that he feels like they're roommates, that he feels like they can't have a deeper connection. And that's because Katie's heart is with someone else. Katie was still in love with her ex when she got married. And we all knew that. That's something that I've called out from the very beginning. That's something I did not like. I feel like she should not have walked down that aisle. I feel like it's trifling of anybody that was involved with production to allow her to marry this man, knowing she was still in love with her ex. I mean, she even told people on camera. She told her parents. She told some of the other wives on this show, like, how dare you marry somebody you still stuck on your ex? Derek didn't know about any of this until they sat down and had this conversation. He was totally blindsided. And I would have been very upset. She said not only is she still stuck on her ex, but she's still attracted to him. Pastor Cal asked her, did she cut emotional ties with this man? And she said she did, but it's like a conscious decision every single day. And so Pastor Cal was like, well, so you didn't cut emotional ties, because if you have to constantly, every single day, push yourself not to like someone, or push yourself to, you know, push yourself to try to get over someone, you're not over them. And then she just broke out crying. And it's like so clear that this past relationship, the fact that she's stuck on this man, is preventing her from having future emotional ties with her husband. And for this reason and this reason alone, I think this relationship will not work. How is it gonna work? he said it himself, I feel like I'm competing with another man. Am I married? I just don't see how this relationship can succeed based off those facts alone, because whew, I mean, Derek now is insecure. How can he feel secure in his relationship? I mean, he came in here with no attachments. You came in here attached to another man that I don't know if he'll call from a different number. You pick up the phone and you go run and be with him. So that's why I feel like they should have nipped that in the bud. But now that they haven't, we're just going to have to watch a train wreck, I guess. So finally, let's talk about Mika and Michael. I feel like it's hilarious that Mika loves decorative pillows just, you know, everywhere. And Michael, he thinks it's excessive. And then when you look at his place, you look at his room, it's not just minimal. It just looks like it hasn't been lived in. It looks like, I mean, he has no decorations on the wall. It looks like he literally just moved in. Like, that's beyond minimal. That is, I mean, you don't even, did he even have a comforter on the bed? Like, Michael, how you living, boy? I mean, he literally had a pan on his stove with a spatula in it that he keeps, that's where he keeps it 24 hours a day. I guess to make it more convenient for him to cook each time. What? I mean, I was looking at him crazy the same way Mika was. He don't use his cabinets. That's what that's for, Michael. And I'm sorry, if you come live in my house, the pots and pans, they go in the cabinet, baby. I'm sorry. We ain't gonna keep that. That's some like, that is like the ultimate bachelor man thing to do. Like, now if you're living alone, I guess that's cool. I mean, it's just you, who cares? But I know Mika ain't having that. Here's what I feel about Mika and Michael. Both of them are very over analytical. They overanalyze everything. When you even hear them speak, it's like you hear them kind of like computing things and speaking instead of feeling things. Even though I know they're trying to get their feelings out there, it's just so over analytical. It's so robotic. Even when they talk to each other, they don't even really look at each other in each other's eyes. I feel like Dr. Cal should have stopped them and like, look at each other and speak from your heart, because I feel like they're so over analytical, it's making everything robotic. When Mika said that she felt like she was putting too much pressure on the situation and she just wants to let it organically build, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what needs to happen, because I feel like because there's so much in their own head, it's keeping them from letting things happen organically. So when they finally let a lot of that stuff go, they're able to talk and they're able to like get to know each other and actually, you know, joke around and have fun with each other. Whereas before, it's like you're so focused on what you think a marriage should be. So they get back to the whole conversation that they had on the plane that was not recorded, that we do not know who said what, how what was said. It's really annoying at this point. She said that he said that they need to have sex on that honeymoon, or he's not going to want to stay married. He said he was more so talking about there's an expectation about having sex on a honeymoon. Regardless, I don't know what was said. I don't know how it was said. Like I said on my last review, I feel like Michael might have said that and he didn't mean it like that. Mika was like, she wishes he would just admit that he said it and just say he didn't mean it like that. She just feels like she can't trust him because he won't admit that he said it. I do feel like Michael said it, but he, like I said, I feel like he said it the wrong way, and he just doesn't want to come off as a jerk on camera, or he just, you know, for some reason he doesn't want to just let her have that. I wish he would just let her have it. Just let her have it. Give it to her so y'all can move past it. So he really begins to cry. And when I say cry, it's like I don't think you could fake those tears. Like I really felt like he was expressing true emotion. That's the most emotion Mika says she's ever experienced from him. And it really kind of broke down a wall between them, because I feel like I said, I feel like both of them are very over analytical, and he's very careful about the words he was using in the moment. He really didn't even know how to express himself. He said he feels like a failure. It seems to me that Michael may have some unresolved issues when it comes to him being adopted. He mentioned that
he missed some motherly intimacy and that he's going to be looking for that through Mika. And I'm just like, I'm not really sure how healthy that actually is. And also just all that emotion that burst through. I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing, or does he know, is he self-aware enough to know that he's having some deep-rooted issues going on, but something deeper is going on. And I don't know if it's fair to make Mika shoulder, that burden if it's much more than she can bear, you know? And as far as him being a failure, I wonder, does that have to do with him trying to prove to himself that he's worthy of a family, that his family is worthy of having a successful marriage in it? He's putting all this pressure on himself that is unnecessary, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I feel like a lot of that stems from some deeply rooted issues.
As he's crying, she comforts him, she hugs him. But I still feel like this situation is unresolved. And I feel like it's just going to come right back around. But we'll see. Maybe it's resolved. It just didn't seem like it was. It kind of just seems like Pastor Cal was like, y'all need to go and resolve this or I ain't finna go nowhere. So let me go back up. Mika and Michael just already discussed their salaries, and Michael makes significantly more than Mika does. He just took on a position of becoming a principal, and I know principals make pretty good money. They really do. And she was just saying how she was happy that he made more than her because she's tired of being the person that makes the most in a relationship. She doesn't want to take care of someone. She doesn't want to drag anyone. She wanted someone to be on her level or higher as far as financially. That seemed to rub Michael the wrong way a little bit. I don't know, maybe I was reading him wrong. He seemed to like bristle up a little bit, and he was just like, well, as long as you love what you do, that should be all that matters. Money shouldn't matter that much. And Pastor Cal was just like, basically, Mika want that money, so you might as well keep doing what you're doing, buddy. He asked him about kids, and she wants 3 kids, and he said he would like 3 kids as well. He would like to have 2 himself, and then he wants to adopt 1. I think that's commendable. I really feel like people should consider adoption more often, especially when some people, aren't able to bear their own kids or maybe don't have the money for surrogates. Consider adopting. There are a lot of kids out there that need good homes. And like Michael said, especially black families that can adopt black children out there that are orphans and need a good family as well. Alright, y'all, so I cut through all the fat of that episode and brought out as much meat as I could. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let me know what you feel about each individual couple. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.